All right, so expected fantasy points is something that's integral to fantasy football analytics. So instead of just putting a bunch of words and making you read it, I wanted to show a video to kind of just high level everything. I think intuitively everyone understands what it is, even if they haven't quantified it yet. So here's a little play from the Rams Seahawks conference game. There's going to be a snap and then a drop back. We're about on the 25-yard line. So, like not a great chance of a touchdown, maybe 10%, 20%, in addition to the points that Matthew Stafford would get given there's a completion. And basically, the expected fantasy points takes the average result given that pass attempt, right? So Stafford's going to throw it. It's a little 6-yard check down to Kyren Williams. So that pass, right? I think it's like, a tenth of a point, a fourth of a point for a fantasy point. That's like 0.25 expected points for Matthew Stafford on that play. And Kyren Williams, given he had a target for about 5 yards, it's about, 1 point on just the reception plus the yak. Might average out to like 0.6 or 0.7 fantasy points in this particular spot. And the expectation, right, the expected fantasy points, the opportunity is just the mere fact that they snapped the ball and threw it. The execution is what the fantasy points ended up being, which is in this case for Kyren about 1 full point. And to illustrate this a little further, we'll get down into the goal line. There'll be a snap here. So Stafford's about to throw. Now you're at the 3, right? The odds of a touchdown for a QB it's worth 4 points is much, much higher, right? So Stafford, from the fact that he dropped back, if you're a Stafford owner, you're like, hey, 50-50 shot, this is a TD, right? You want the 4 points, but expected wise, you're like 2 points on the average is what I'd expect to get out of this. And in this case, they do get the touchdown out of, I think, Ferguson. And the point is, over the course of the year, all of these snaps, right, they add up. The actual opportunity, which is the decision that was made, whether it was a run or a pass, in addition to the execution, which ends up being the fantasy points that tally up on your scoreboard. So, a 40-yard pass, right, is worth probably a lot more. It gets you more out of your seat than a normal one. So think of expected fantasy points as kind of like correlated to how much you're getting out of your seat. And I think you'll have a pretty good grasp of what it really is. But if you want more detail, just read the full article on the site. And that's all for now.